All right, what do we have? We have a Philips PM5770 pulse generator. It's 1 hertz to 100 megahertz, and lots of knobs on it, which is nice. I don't know if it works yet or not, but let's take a look together. It does have a lot of nice things here. It's got repetition rate, 10 nanoseconds to 100 milliseconds, delay of 5 nanoseconds to 10 milliseconds, width of 5 nanoseconds to 10 milliseconds, amplitude from 0.1 to 10 volts in 50 ohms. The 10 is written in red, which is a little bit strange. Fine amplitude, oh, so you can adjust here's the coarse and the fine, okay. You can change the rise and the fall times with these here, and in certain ranges, 4 to 50 nanoseconds, 50 to 2000 let's see, 0.05 to 2 microseconds, 2 to 100 microseconds. Let's see, what else can we do here? Yeah, these are all coarse and fine adjustments, so I'll just put them all here at 12 o'clock. And it's always a good place to start. And we have gated, double, all kinds of things here. All right, so yeah, let's take a look inside first before we turn it on. All right, the sides come off. That's kind of cool. So we can work on it from the 2 sides. And then I'm sure the top and the bottom come off also, but let's take a look. Very old school. I don't see any date codes yet. These components look a bit odd to me also. They must be European. Obviously made in Holland, probably. And I like these little heat sinks. Yeah, everything was always TL5 back in the day. And lots of range switching and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the other side. Well, that's beautiful. Real nice layout. And very interesting components, like I say. They must all be German, or maybe they're Dutch, I don't know. Not quite sure. They did the same thing that HP did. All the little capacitors have glass beads on the legs. Not sure why everybody was doing that back then. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let's see if we can take the top off this thing. All right, kind of rustle with the top there to get it off, but yeah, there we go. Wow, definitely looks vintage, that's for sure. I see some big blue caps down there that look like they could be suspect. 4,000 microfarads at 40 volts for that one. I think probably the same. Yeah, very, very cool. Allen Bradley potentiometers, of course. A little bit of point-to-point wiring, but most things on PC boards. Nice big transformer mounted way up high. That's kind of unusual. Because there's no reason why not, but it's way up high on this big giant heatsink here. Yeah, I didn't show the back of this thing yet, did I? The back is this big giant piece of cast aluminum with a couple transistors, so that's your output. And the transformer is mounted onto this big back plate here, so very, very interesting. Yeah, let's power it on. Let's live brave. All right, I don't know if this thing's what it's gonna do. So I have it on a Variac, and I have it on a isolation transformer also. The Variac runs into the isolation transformer, then the isolation transformer connects to this. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor the voltage on this cap here, and I'm also going to be looking up, it won't be on camera, but I'm going to be looking at this, and this is going to tell me how many volts and how many amps I have going into the box. That's probably the most interesting thing. So let's look at that from the get-go, because I think that'll be the most telling thing. If it starts drawing lots of amps at low voltages, then we know that something's wrong. So I'm going to, and this thing's not going to turn on until it has some voltage on it, so we have to go up a ways. All right, so I'm going to turn the power on to the box, and I'm going to bring up the variac here, and there we go. I've got 63 volts and 0.3 amps, so that looks okay. And I've got 82 volts and half an amp, so that looks okay. And I don't see any smoke. I don't see anything strange going on. We do have 22 volts on that cap now, so looks like we're in business to go all the way. So let's go ahead and take this up to 120. Well, I'm going to watch the amperages on going up, making sure that's not going crazy. And half an amp is just fine, so let's go up here to 113. And we have 30 volts on that cap. They're 40 volt caps, so that sounds fine. Minus 30 on that one. And let's see, back out of ways here. If I go to this one, I have plus 30. So I have a plus and minus 30 volt rail. That sounds pretty good. And I've got 0.75 amps at 113 volts. So I'll go all the way to 120. All right. 120 volts, about 0.6 amps, 0.58, and 32 volts. So there we go. That's the unregulated side of the supply, and everything looks just fine. All right. So I think it's safe to use. Let's turn it on, or it's already on. So let's turn on the oscilloscope, see if this thing's outputting anything. All right, it does seem to be doing something. I'm getting a pulse out there. So let me fiddle with some knobs and see what we can do here. This is repetition rate. Oh, that works. Make it go faster or slower. Okay. This is delay. I'm not sure what delay does. Width. Width doesn't seem to be doing anything. Amplitude doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, this is sync out. I'm looking at the sync output. I'm sorry. That's sync output. So this is pulse output. And pulse output. Pulse output's not doing anything. So this thing might be dead. This thing might have dead output transistors or something. So let's go back to pulse. This is the sync output. Let's go back to sync output. Yeah, so sync output's giving us something. Sync output says plus 1 to 5 volts into 50 ohms. And it's giving me negative voltages, which is kind of weird. Inverted polarity or non-inverted? Oh, there we go. Inverted polarity looks better. Okay, and then inverted. That's really weird. I think this thing's sick. I think it might be sick. Those do seem to work. So this is I'm just looking at sync output, not output. So yeah, let me play with it for a while. All right, so I have the sync up at the top here and the output on the bottom, and it's they're not synchronized. I can make the thing go slower and faster, and I'm getting something down here, but it ain't in sync with the top. That's for sure. So a lot of times it's just a matter of maybe this thing is out. Oh, there we go. See, told you. Sometimes it's a matter of what you set in the front panel is not actually achievable. See, the width was too large. And there you go, see that? Ah, see? This is a negative going pulse, and I'm making the width smaller and making it bigger. And I can make it bigger until I get to the rate, and then it gets bigger than the, well, now it's working just fine. It'll make a liar out of me. So maybe it's just dirty pots. This is the amplitude, so amplitude gets bigger and smaller. That works. Offset, yeah, offset moves it up and down. Okay, delay. Ah, that delays it. Ah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, dirty switch. Aha. I'll get some contact cleaner out. Maybe that's one of the keys. Clean the contacts first. So this is delay from sync, right? So we can set the delay to 0, so now they're synchronized. Okay, we'll set it here to 100 nanosecond difference, so 1 microsecond difference. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so the delay works, repetition rate works. Ah, now once again, where's our trigger? There's our trigger. Yeah, I think contact cleaner is next. All right. Power's off. And there's switch number 1. And the knob's a little bit loose too. I'm gonna have to tighten that knob. Uh-oh. I don't know what holds that knob on, actually. Interesting. And let's spray this. Spray this one. And spray this one. This knob is spinning too much. All right. Oops. Let's turn things back on and see what happens. That looks better. We're in the positive domain now. I like that better. And repetition rate. Repetition rate is working good. We don't have any output yet, but we might not be in there we go. Now we're in a place where it can do it. And everything is positive there, which is good. If I set, yep, I'm flipping the positive negative switch down here. Negative ones, positive ones, oops. And now we've inverted again. So see, there's something funny in some of these switches. There we go. I think just a matter of cleaning all these switches. Yeah. This one is really sticky too. I want to open up this one, take it apart. What else can we do? Rise and fall times. Yeah, let's do that. Ah, look at that. Nice. So I can adjust the rise time, and I can adjust the fall time. Oh, very, very nice. You like that? I do. I think that's super cool. Let's change the width a little bit. There we go. So this is the rise and the fall. Very cool. Normal polarity there. So now the sync is in sync. Now they're both the same. They're both positive and they're in sync. So positive edge starts you here, so that's why it's the rise. So yeah, this is the rise and this is the fall. Very cool. Let's go up here. How much can we adjust it? Oh, very, very fine. We can barely see that. So let's zoom in, take a look. All right, I figured out how to take the knobs off. Wasn't trivial. So there's a little cap that you have to reach in and kind of pry off this one. And then let me show you with this one. These knobs, I have not seen knobs like this before. Usually there's like 2 little set screws in them, right? Well, this knob actually has a little collet. And there's a collet that fits in here, and then the screw that goes in the end sucks up on that collet and tightens it against the shaft. So yeah, it's a weird little collet design. Go back out again. Weird little collet design, so I've never seen that before. And the knob underneath has the same thing. It has a collet in it, and this time it uses a hex on it. So I've got my knob on it right now, and things are working fine over there. I know there's a glare on it, but things are working fine over there. So I'm going to synchronize this to the end stop, and then I'll try to put the knob back on and tighten the collet this time. So that should work. All right, so I'm at the far left position now, and I've got some duckbill pliers that are like the only tool that I could find to do this job. Just tightening. All right. Okay, I've tightened it too far now. I wasn't sure if I was tightening or not. Okay, good. So now we can kind of hold it here and see if we can tighten. There we go. See if we can tighten there. Ah, that works. Okay, now I can get a good grip on it here and tighten it down. There we go. Okay, good. All right, knob works again. Yay. All right. And then I can put the little collet on here. And that one doesn't matter because the little arrow indicator is the last thing that you put in, I think. Oh no, there is the thing here too. So I do have to clock this one. All right, so this one goes to 830. Okay, we need to make it go farther this way. Okay, now it's gone to that far and that far. Wants to go about 8 and 4 or something like that. Okay, tighten this one down. Oh, geez. Back on my block here. All right, then I've got this little cap I need to stick back on. I don't know how people are supposed to be able to take this off. I just kind of jammed a blade in there. All right. All better. All right, let's put this back on here. All right, let's start playing with it again. Try to get a better camera shot. Okay, good. I was playing with the this is the rising edge and the falling edge. Those work fine. Put them back up straight again. And I can make the pulse go narrower or make it go wider, and then it's not syncing to this screen. I think that's the scope's fault, not the thing's fault. So that seems to be working. Amplitude seems to work. Offset seems to work. Delay seems to work. Repetition rate seems to work. Let's see, we need to go finer in width if we want to do faster repetitions. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think it's all working great. I don't think there's any reason to have to repair this thing. I think everything's fine. I still am going to get the schematic. I mean, I refuse to own things I don't have schematics for. There's only like one instrument I have that I don't have the schematic for, and it drives me insane. It's my precision voltage current source. But other than that, I usually have the service manual for everything if I can. All right, so yeah, definitely a usable instrument. I'm glad the output transistors weren't dead on this thing. And I am driving into 50 ohms, so that seems to be working just fine. So, all right, not much of a troubleshoot other than a sticky knob and dirty contacts on the switches. Otherwise, everything looks pretty good. Spit shine it, away you go.